I've been in the fitness industry for almost 2 decades, and within those 2 years, you always hear about things always being good and bad. Egg yolk is good, egg bad is bad. One day it's healthy for you, the next day it's gonna give you cancer. You hear that about everything to the point where it gets confusing. Vegan's healthy for you, now it's carnivore diet. It gets to the point where you're gonna blow your fucking mind off. But the one thing till this day I've never heard is as you gain stronger, as you gain more strength, you lose muscle mass. I've never heard that. So, if you want to build a bigger butt, if you want to build more muscle tone in any specific area, more tone, the goal is to get stronger in that region. That sounds like it's common sense, right? But most people don't track the strength numbers. I've done this for a long time. A rare few ever track the strength numbers. Why is it important to track your strength numbers? Because you always want to push the body's edges of the envelope. If you're doing the exact same weights, reps, tempo, time, everything's the same, the body's not going to adapt and change. Most people use their judgment. Well, it feels right. Well, you don't fucking know, and then next thing you know it, you're not growing. Let me give you an example. If your body's inflamed and tired, guess what's going to happen? You're going to think you're a lot more tired than you are. But guess what? You're actually fine. And you're gonna quit a lot earlier than you should. Or if you're tired, you're like, oh, you know what? I feel like I feel like I'm right. Do you know how many times I feel like I'm tired and I realize my record is 30 reps, for example, 20 reps of 100 pounds, and I'm stopping at like 10 as an example. My record's like 20, and I stop at 15 because my mind's telling me I'm tired. I'm like, no, Sam, you hit 20 last time easy. You're not that tired. That's a mental battle. If you leave it to your judgment, oh, you know, it feels like it's painful, you're going to talk yourself out of it all the time. And then people don't change. Do you know how rare it is to find someone who actually adds one extra rep all the fucking time? It's actually a rare trait. A rare trait for people to continuously grow stronger with each and every single workout. A very rare trait. You think it's actually something very easy to do. Like, well, why? What's so hard about pushing with one extra rep every single workout? I know, it's not. It's not actually hard. But most people are just super lazy. They're mentally not like willing to actually think about anything. They don't want to think about their nutrition. They don't want to think about their workouts, and no wonder they don't want to think about their physique. It's just, to them, it's just they're too lost. It's too much for them. But everyone that I've met, you don't have to be analytical. You don't have to be a master with numbers. You can have a low IQ and figure this shit out. It's not hard. It's really not hard. I'm not exaggerating when I say this. You don't have to be intelligent. You don't have to like numbers. I've met people who say they're analytical and struggle to track the macros or track their numbers for their strength gains. And then they wonder why their physique is out of whack. But the good thing is, as you track your numbers, it's like this ego boost. It builds a lot of confidence, because when you see the numbers go up and up and up, you're like, okay, cool. So if I want a bigger butt, I'm at 135-pound squats. If I double that, it's going to grow that much more. And your imagination goes, and then it grows. I'm a hard gainer. Nothing came easy to me. So I understood that. I'm like, well, I'm all stick and bone now, so I got nothing else to do but grow stronger. So every single ounce of muscle I put on was rep after rep after rep. Back in the day, we didn't have apps, so I used my judgment. I didn't even use pen and paper. I just used my intuition based off numbers. I'm like, okay, I remember I did 100 for 10 reps, for example. Imagine I forgot. If I'm uncertain what I remember my personal record was, then what I would do is I would rep till I'm 100% certain. I know for a fucking fact I've never done it at that weight. So if I'm uncertain, I'm like, was it 100 pounds for 10 reps or 12 reps? I'm not really sure. You know what? I'm going to do 90 pounds for 15 reps or an extra set. I never did 90 pounds for 3 sets. I always used to do 2. That to me is a personal record, because I'm pushing the edges of the envelope. My body's not used to that. That's the name of the game. I apologize, it's raining right now, okay? But that's why tracking is super important. And if you want that physique and you want to be certain that you're growing, why is this so hard? Now there's so much tools and apps to do that you can use. One extra rep. That fucking hard. If you know, every single one of my clients who actually track their strength numbers, it gets fun, because now they have a target. They can visualize the target, and they fall in love with the process, because they're not focusing on the body weight. They're not focusing on things. As they get stronger and they track their macros, their whole body changes, their physique changes, their confidence changes, because strength is energy. Eventually, as you get stronger and stronger, so does your metabolism. You start burning more fat. Like I said, it's all just a bunch of numbers. If you can squat more weight for more reps for a shorter period of time and move the weights faster, by definition, you are burning more calories. Do you see how this works? And if you have more muscle tone you have, the more carbohydrates you can consume. Like I said, if you can approach strength training and keep your numbers, be accountable to your own numbers, and push the edges of the envelope forever, you're golden. My services go stronger, faster, not stronger. So if you want to grow stronger, faster, you got to think like a high performer, not a low performer. Low performers have low attitudes. I think about winning all the time, elevating myself, building pride, being proud of myself. Once I push the edges of the envelope and overcome that internal self-dialogue, negative self-talk, by pushing the edges of the envelope, it builds so much confidence and gratitude for the rest of my day. And then not only am I just remember, it's not about beating your own personal numbers. It's just one way to measure growth. We have an analytical brain and we have a very emotional left side and right side brain. When you tap into both things, it creates a lot of certainty in the process. Not only did you feel like you had a good workout, through numbers, you for a fact you had a great workout. When you have both sides that are confident, that builds certainty. When you're certain that you're growing, that's when you build that supreme self-belief about the process. This is how it works. This is how I coach my clients. This is why all my clients fall in love with the process. This is why they are in love with strength training. This is why they are certain about it. Every single one says it's fucking easy. Not a single one of them who went through 3 months of it consistently said this is actually hard. So if you're stuck and you want to get lean, you want to get strong, you want to build a physique, continuously grow stronger. You're not going to lose muscle mass. You're not going to slow down your metabolism by growing stronger. You're only going to gain more muscle tone, muscle mass, more denser muscle, and get a better physique. That's just a fucking fact. All right, people, I'm out. Lots of love.